Well, good afternoon. I am absolutely delighted to be with such a salt-of-the-earth company because I've been thinking about this for almost a month now because you guys take me back to my roots. I grew up in South Dakota. Anybody from South Dakota in the room? Woohoo! I grew up in South Dakota. My great-grandfather homesteaded there. My grandfather ranched and farmed there. My dad ran the ranch, but sharecropped. And then when my dad died, it was left to myself and my brother to run, and we didn't know anything about ranching and farming. So I learned a lot in a very short period of time, and I want to tell you that I've told our sharecropper, Terry Buchert. Anybody know Terry? Anybody work with Terry? South Dakota, maybe? I said, you know, Terry, you guys... You're the ultimate entrepreneurs in our country because you partner with Mother Nature. And sometimes she can be really kind and sometimes she can't. But you're ultimately the ultimate risk taker. And when I look at what you guys do, you're helping those entrepreneurs, those risk takers, mitigate that risk and improve their benefits. So when I say that I'm really pumped about being here with you today and it takes me back to some roots, now you know why. I want to give you an example of how knowledge through connectivity is going to change the rules of the game for you and me. An example from outside your industry, and then I will try to tie it back into your business. Let's just assume for a minute here, who can I pick on? What's your name? Paul. Paul, let's just assume for a minute that you have a heart condition, all right? Now, Paul, it's not a problem because you're wearing a monitor that sends a constant signal to a service that your health system has subscribed to, all right? Now, Paul, we're outside, we're here in San Diego, and tonight you're going to go out to dinner, and if we could jump into your very favorite meal, if we could have anything you want, man, what are we having? Steak. Yeah, that's good for a guy with a heart condition. Now, Paul, you're about to have a heart attack, man. Men and women, just minutes before he ever knows that anything is about to go wrong, the monitor sends a signal, the service picks it up, and automatically out over the internet go bids for emergency medical services. Bids. Paul, you like that term, bids? You're about to go face down in the T-bone, man, and they're bidding on who's going to haul your butt away. The bidding happens in real time, so automatically paramedics are dispatched to our restaurant location. Automatically, the best cardiologist within 20 minutes of our restaurant is found, and she's on her way to the hospital. Automatically, a prescription is already being sent from a pharmacy, already confirmed to have the medication he's going to need, and it's on its way to the hospital. While all that's taking place, Paul, the service that your hospital links to another service that collects heart data from all over the globe. They plug in your vitals, man, everything they know about you. They run it through the algorithms, beam it up to the satellite, and beam it down to the PDA on the physician's hip or the PC in the emergency room. And now at the fingertips of that service provider is the very best information she's going to need with which to serve her client. What are we talking about here? We're talking about a level of connectivity that creates a smart system that allows the service provider, in this case, to gain new knowledge with which to add new value to differentiate herself with her customer. In this case, save a life. And it doesn't stop there. I make a couple trips to Japan every year, and the Japanese have taught us that one of the centers, you ready for this? One of the centers for disease prevention and wellness in the very near future is going to be where? Anybody want to take a crack at it? Your home. Your home. Specifically, your bathroom. Why? Are you ready for this? Because the Japanese have invented the smart toilet. Take a look. Pretty soon, Paul, you've been coming to this thing for a while? You know a lot of these people? Okay. Pretty soon, Paul, embedded in the porcelain of your toilet is going to be a keypad. You know what that means, Paul? You're going to have to log on to your own potty, man. Why? Because the toilet seat reads temperature, weight, and body fat ratios, and the VXL chip in the toilet collects and analyzes up to 122 compounds in your urine or your stool and stores that for up to 120 days and displays it on an LED, stores the information, and displays it on an LED readout. So, Paul, you come in, you log on to the porcelain, and the LED thing says, hey, Paul, how about a few less T-bones? You know what they're going to do with it after that? They're going to attach a modem to his toilet. And all that information is going to get downloaded to whom? Well, Dan, I can see you have a mixed crowd here. You have the pessimists who say the insurance companies, and you have the optimists who say the physicians. You know where it's going to go after that? It's going to go to his voice-activated computer. So, Paul, you've been coming to these things for a while, right? You know a lot of these people? They're going to get to know you just a little bit better for a moment here. Paul, you're sitting on the potty. From the other room, your voice-activated computer pipes up and says, Paul, in approximately 30 minutes, it's very possible that you could have a heart attack. But if you get off the potty, get in your car, take Freeway 8 because Freeway 5 has an accident on it, you can make it to Mercy Hospital in 14.5 seconds. You tell those doctors you need 32 cc's of Crop Star or Base Camp 6 or something. What's the question we ought to be asking ourselves, ladies and gentlemen? The question I ask myself every day, because all I have to share is information. If it isn't relevant, I don't get to do what I do. My question to myself is, Kevin, are you personally equipped to live in that kind of world? And that's my question to you. You say, well, Kevin, that's kind of a far-out example. I mean, I don't know if that's very relevant to those of us that are selling nutrients and fertilizer. Well, let me give you one that is then. Most of you in this room know the name John Deere and Company, yes? Most of you in this room know that for at least 15 years, Deere has been a leader in data warehousing and information-based farming. Why? Because most of you know that on every new Deere tractor is a small little computer which takes 3 simple measurements, latitude and longitude to the nearest square yard, and yield, which means how much wheat or barley or soybeans can I cut in that square yard, yeah? The computer in the tractor talks via satellite to the computer in the farmer's kitchen, which has a bitmap of the lower 40. A satellite, by the way, that scans the light waves of plants, determining plant quality and soil condition. And the system is so precise, as you know, that the computer in the kitchen can talk back to the computer in the tractor and say, yo, add more fertilizer just north of the tree line where the shadows fall and you can increase your yield. Which isn't insignificant in this country because in the last 10 years we've lost 1 million farms. And now because of companies like Deere and because of companies like you, the grower, the producer is able to double their production in the same acreage. And pretty soon, we're going to have companies like General Mills who buy that product are going to get in on the game. And they're going to plug into what's going in what's going on in the production in the heartland and what's going on in the futures market. And it's going to change your world and it's going to change my world. You say, how? Well, today, you go to the grocery store and underneath your favorite cereal, you see a little static barcoded price that tells you the price of that cereal. Pretty soon, that's going to be a little LED tag that momentarily updates the price of the product based on what's going on in the futures market, based on what's going on in the heartland. Or if you're an orchard on the coast or whatever. What's the lesson, ladies and gentlemen? The lesson is we got to connect. And what I want to know this afternoon is when you go back home, how connected are you to the sources of knowledge that are going to add new value to your farmer at the gate?